let's get started with question number one, which comes in from Michael. So hi there, Michael. Happy New Year to you, and thanks for being part of the WiggyWam community. Michael says, my star player handed their notice in before Christmas and they're going directly to the competition. He wants to know, how do I recruit more great staff to join our business, as I'm worried they know all of our internal secrets and will share them with the competition, making them even stronger. We can't afford to pay them more, so how do I attract more staff with limited resources? Okay then, Michael, well, thank you for your question. I'm sorry to hear that you've been put in that position, which is never great. Obviously, I don't know all the circumstances that have surrounded this, whether it is a case that they've asked for a pay rise and it hasn't been able to be granted to them for whatever reason, or whether or not they've just been tempted away with more money or greater opportunity by your competition. But one of the things I would be looking at, Michael, is whether or not, if this particular person is open to perhaps changing their mind, are you in a position to offer them either more responsibility or more ownership of the company? And that can come in various different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be share ownership of the company, although that might be a good idea to kind of tie somebody into the company if you feel that they've got long-term potential and you feel that they're very much of the kind of shall we say, part of the culture that you've created within the business. And if you really think that they have the potential or the ability to help your business grow, giving away a couple of percentage points of ownership of the business may then help your business to expand a lot quicker, because they're no longer just working for a pay packet, right? They're actually working for the ownership of the business and a share of the profits potentially. So that would be something that I would look at. And when I say responsibility, there could be other things that might spark their interest as to why they would want to remain with you in the business. And what I mean by that is that sometimes, and I'm using my own experience here, Michael, is that when you're part of an organization, sometimes you can see better ways of doing things. And I've found this in a lot of roles that I've had within either a job role or as a business role. You can always usually see better, easier, faster ways of doing things if your eyes are open to that sort of possibility within a company. So in this instance, could this star player want to take responsibility for some of those things that they see within the business if they're getting frustrated that certain things are being done where they feel it's a waste of time, or there's more efficient ways of doing things? Could you give them that responsibility to actually go out and start implementing it and standing by them? Obviously, if they make any mistakes, it is kind of on your head. But the point is, it's kind of releasing that enthusiasm within them, which would allow them to bring those improvements to the business for the benefit of all, rather than them sitting there being a store of frustration because they can see a better way of doing things and it isn't being implemented, or they're coming up against resistance within the power structure within the business. And as a consequence, they've just thrown the towel in and gone, do you know what, actually, I'm moving on to another firm here because I can see a better way of doing things, or I'm being given more autonomy with another company and all the rest of it. So that would be a couple of things that I would bear in mind. Also, Michael, one of the things I want to say to you is there might be other opportunities where you want to look at expanding your business over the course of the next few years. And there might be opportunities that, as the market gets tougher, perhaps some of your competitors would want to leave. Maybe they'll want to sell their business. Maybe their business will fold. Maybe there's opportunities to merge. And I know you said that you're starting with, or you've got limited resources, but I would be open to the possibility of approaching this star player that's leaving and saying to them, look, this is my plan. I want to expand the business in this way. We want to either acquire more offices, or we want to acquire more practices, or we're thinking about merging with so-and-so. Would you be interested in heading up one of those offices or those branches, or would you like to be part of helping us expand in this way? Because if they are essential people to your business, it would be a shame to let them go. And they might be tempted to stay on the promise of more responsibility, ownership of the business, and sharing in the profitability or the growth potential of the company rather than just with a monthly pay packet. Okay, so those are the sorts of things I would look at. The other thing I want to say, Michael, as well, and this is something that I go into, I think it's in volume 3, but also it's within the Estate Agent Secrets Trilogy series, and this applies to estate agents or solicitors, whether or not, whichever business you're in. But one of the things I talk about is building a subs bench for your business, and what that means is, as a football team would have a subs bench of players that are happy to play in certain positions on the field if the main player gets injured or what have you. Sorry if I'm not explaining this very well, but I don't really follow football, if I'm honest, but I'm using it as a loose example, Michael, so I hope you'll forgive me. But the point is that those people sitting on the subs bench are easily able to step into the role of a player who needs to leave the field. Okay. Now, in this instance with your subs bench, and one of the things I want to say here, Michael, is that you can build up a subs bench by talking to other people in the industry or in your area that might not be looking to move immediately, but you recognize they've got potential. You're keeping your eye on them, and you think, actually, do you know what? Now might not be the right time to approach them, but you could have a gentle, soft conversation with them and say, Happy New Year, how are you? What are your ambitions for the future? Do you know where you want to be in 6 months' time, 12 months' time? And through your natural connections in the industry and in your area, you're going to start to talk to these people and potentially earmark them for some position in the future. And it might just be a casual throwaway comment that says, do you know what? If you are thinking about moving in the future, let me know, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. No pressure, no expectation, just go for a coffee or whatever else it might be. But the point is, you're kind of earmarking people, and it might be 2 or 3 people that you have on your subs bench for each particular position within your business. So that if the situation occurs again in the future, Michael, and somebody says they want to step away, well, you just go to your subs bench rather than feeling like you've got a gun to your head because somebody's demanding more money and you can't afford to pay it. You might actually have 1 or 2 or 3 people on your subs bench that you can go to and say, do you know what, actually, I've got an opportunity that might be opening up here. Would you like to go for a coffee and have a chat about it? And that kind of takes the pressure off you. And it's not something that I see that many people do in business, to be honest with you. They don't necessarily have that subs bench earmarked. But it is a real, shall we say, it's a real relief to have it in the background because of the pressure it takes off you when you get faced with situations like this in business. So I hope that helps, Michael. I hope that gives you some idea. That's exactly how I'd play it if I was in your shoes. I think it's worth a conversation. I think it's worth a coffee. Hopefully you haven't fallen out with them, and maybe you could elicit some feedback from them. That would be a good place to start as well, Michael, to say, do you know what? Can we just have a frank conversation? What's the real reason you're leaving? I know you're going to tell me that you've perhaps got more opportunity with this company or whatever, but what's actually the real reason you're leaving? Is it something we've done? Have we upset you? Are you frustrated about certain things within the business? Just help me to improve the business and help the staff that are still staying. And it might well be that you could find some common ground that would allow you to retain them and actually grow the business going forward. So I hope that helps, Michael. The one thing I will just say as well is I wouldn't be too worried about the internal secrets of your business. Having been in that position before myself when I've moved on, I'd like to think I've had enough integrity not to share those with the business that I'm joining. Doesn't mean to say that as an individual you couldn't use them to your advantage in certain situations, but I think the staff that you've employed there, you'd like to think they've got enough integrity to kind of keep certain things to themselves and just integrate themselves within the culture of the business that they're going to, rather than trying to bring stuff from an outside source into that culture and then finding out there's a culture clash and things don't work, and therefore they may be alienated or ostracized from the culture of the company as a whole. I hope that makes sense. But if not, as I say, I encourage you to read Estate Agent Secrets, and that'll give you a bit more information about what I'm talking about there. All right, so reach out to me if you want a copy of that, Michael. All right, so good luck with that. Anything else we can do to help, then let me know. But failing that, I wish you the best of luck and hope that the sort of guidance I've given you there is fruitful. All right, wonderful. Thanks, Michael. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for your time, care, and attention today by being part of the webinar. Really appreciate it. We're here every week doing this to answer any of your property-related questions, whatever they may be, whether you're an estate agent, conveyancer, letting agent, removals expert, surveyor, or a mortgage broker, or anybody else connected with the entire process. We're here week in, week out to answer your important and pertinent questions, whether that's business-related, property-related, or anything else. So feel free to send them in to us. You can send them through to us on email, which is happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. You can also go to our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk. That's wiggywam.co.uk, and connect with us there and send your questions in. Or you can find us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @wiggywam_UK. So that's @wiggywam_UK. And we'd be delighted to see you on a future episode of our webinars very soon. So that's all from me today, guys and girls. Happy New Year to you all once again. Wishing you all the very, very best. And we're always here to help and assist wherever we can. All right. You take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.